Good evening, you sexy bastards, and welcome to vlog number 20. Yep, that's right. How we doing? I'm Tom, back again for another, probably quite lengthy vlog. This one. I've got a list of topics here on my phone. First of which I'd like to discuss is today's stream. Now, first of all, as this is my vlog, I should address the fact that I wasn't there because I was ill in the morning and just couldn't, I couldn't even. So I had to dip out of this stream, but Sasha was there and he streamed a game called 60 Seconds, I think is the name of the game. A game where you play as a bloke in a nuclear apocalypse and you have to get your family into a bunker. And then you have to survive. Kind of similar to, what was that game called? The survival aspect of it is kind of similar to, the beginning of T? This War of Mine. A game that I played a while ago. Last summer, I think. It was a good stream. It was a very good stream. There was a shit ton of followers, and I'm not sure why. You know? I'm just not sure why. Why were there so many people watching this game? But anyway, Sashin got up to about 45 viewers at a point, which is, excluding hosted streams where someone else has hosted us, I think is our highest ever view count, which is crazy. For a game, like, no one else was in that directory, no one else was playing that game. So, for us, as streamers, we looked at that directory and assumed, I remember Sashin said to me the other day, I've got this game I really want to play, but no one's playing it. So, as streamers, when you see no one's playing the game, you assume there's no audience for the game, right? Because, you know, there's just nothing there, it's empty. But there were clearly people that really wanted to see this game, and we had an incredibly active chat. I say we this time because I was there in chat morning with Chibi. Thank you, Chibi, by the way. If you're watching, you probably are. You did a very good job morning today. That was greatly appreciated. A few issues, minor issues like backseat gaming and stuff that we warned and timed out multiple times. Wasn't any issues, wasn't any problems with that though. So that was fine. But I mean, all in all, great success really for Sashin and for us. Both of us struggle with solo streams because obviously when you stream as a pair, as a unit, as friends, dumb reference, you get used to that dynamic. You know, you get used to having two people, another person to bounce off. And when you transition back into solo streaming, for whatever reason, usually I'm ill or Sashin's got like a family meeting or something, social commitment, it's just a different dynamic, you know, and it feels awkward's not the right word. It doesn't feel awkward, but it just feels a bit strange, you know, when you're used to having someone else there talking to, and that's just gone, and you're just there by yourself in front of a computer. We're used to it, and we're getting better at it, but you know, it's still a bit of a harsh transition, I think. So he handled that really well. Very good stream from him. Very entertaining the whole way through. Did a lot of talking. He tell me how tired he was afterwards because he's not used to doing that much talking. Because obviously there's me there, so I can take some of the talking load off. And I like talking, and I can talk for a long time, so it helps that there's someone there that can do that. But yeah, no, it was a really, really good stream today. So thank you to all you guys who were there and watching and participating in chat and stuff. Very cool. So that's that. Next topic. Yes. So yesterday, some of you might have seen incredibly briefly, there was a tweet sent out on our account with a video, and that video was Bagel King's podcast number 1. Now, yes, we are happy to announce that we're going to be doing a monthly podcast released probably in the first week of every month. We'll nail the scheduling down when we talk about it some more. But that podcast we recorded yesterday, and will be going up on the channel on Saturday at some point because we had a look at the reason it went up briefly is because Sashin, we discussed briefly when we wanted it to go up, but Sashin just forgot and uploaded it. And I was like, nope, take it down, not the right day. And he took it down. So the tweet went out saying it's been uploaded, and it went up on YouTube, and he just unlisted it until Saturday when we're going to be releasing it. So I think that's going to be the day that we release it in future. Should be the first Saturday of every month, hopefully. So yeah, it was good. It's about an hour, 10 minutes long. And it's coming on a day where the content is Sasha's got a vlog, but it always goes up really late at night, so we're going to put it like midday Saturday, right? Like just, sometime in the day on Saturday. So for those of you who want more content from us, you got an hour-long podcast every month to listen to, which should be nice. Always wanted to do a podcast. That was our first ever foray into the world of this stuff. We did a podcast many years and years ago, which I thought was fucking hilarious. It was a great podcast. Never released it though. But yes, now we're doing a podcast. So that's good. So you guys will hopefully enjoy that on Saturday. What's up next? Yeah, so coming up soon as well, on a similar note, is episode 3 of Chef Pierre. It's come around this quickly again. I think I did the last one on high teens of July. So we're on the 10th of August now. It's coming up soon. Probably not next week. I'd say the week afterwards. The week beginning... Oh, this maths is far too hard. If Sunday is the start of our week, it'll be the week beginning the 21st of August. The week beginning 21st of August, Sunday, will be the week Chef Pierre goes out, probably. It's getting later and later every month, though. I should probably sort that out. But that means to sort that out, I have to do one on like the 21st of August and like the 1st of September, which would mean there'd only be like a week between the two. Or a week and a half, which would be done. But no, well, it'll come when it comes every month. It's kind of up to when I feel like doing it. Really, it's hard to nail down a schedule for that because it relies on, like, for a start, Mum being out the house, or just not in the kitchen. Preferably out the house though, to save myself some fucking embarrassment later. And just when I feel like if I know that I'm not going to feel like doing it that week, because it is quite like it's quite a pressure. Really, in a way that not really much other stuff that I do is. It's quite a push for me to do that. So I kind of know when I am A, confident, B, just like in the mood enough to do it. And in a couple of weeks I should be. So that'll be fine. I've definitely decided that I'm going to be doing flapjacks of some sort. I remember I made flapjacks once in my youth and they were very nice. So I'm going to make them, probably chocolate coated or some shit. Because fat boys. And I'm not quite sure what else I'm going to do. So I thought, for those of you watching, I'll probably mention it again in one of the streams. If you guys have any suggestions for what I can make alongside flapjacks, bear in mind the preference is that I can... The stream's about 2 hours long, right? So if flapjacks take, fucking hell, 30 to 40 minutes to make, probably, roughly. I want something that I can start after the flapjacks go in the oven, so when I put the flapjacks in the oven, I want something that I can begin preparing at the same time. So with that in mind, and reaching about the 2 hour mark, that includes, it's not all about like making the food. There is like probably a 10 to 20 minute time frame in their streams where I just like talk to the camera and shit. So with all those things considered, if you guys have any suggestions for what I can make alongside the flapjacks, let me know in the Twitch stream or in the comments of this video or whatever. And yeah, I will definitely consider them. I say consider because some things are out of my wheelhouse. Some things I'm just not good enough to do. Some things will be too long, too short, maybe. 2 inches. And yeah, so don't be offended if I don't pick the thing you suggested. If anyone suggests anything. But yeah, that'll be coming up soon, so that's exciting, hopefully. What's next on the old listy poos? Oh yeah, this Friday, as always, I have another entry into Tom's Literature Corner. This week, however, for the last 3-4 weeks, it's been me just doing recordings of some of my favourite poetry. This week, however, is going to be an original piece of poetry from me. Now, prepare yourselves, because it's not going to be, obviously, anywhere near to the standard of the poetry I've been reading in the previous weeks, because I'm not a fucking literary genius. B, it's going to be... It's not going to be in any specific style. It's kind of just ABAB, which is incredibly simple, and it's probably the most simplistic form of poetry and rhyming. But when I try and write in other forms of poetry, say sonnet or just anything else, it feels very unnatural to me. My preferred form is just ABAB, which is very simple, and I'm aware of that. Um, I'm aware that it's not particularly impressive, but it's just sort of me, It's just how I enjoy writing. It's what feels natural to me, and it's not going to be amazing. The poem itself isn't going to be amazing, but like the format it's in is going to be very me. The poem is going to be just me. I don't really know how to describe it. You'll see what I mean on Friday. So it should be interesting. I haven't ever shared poetry that I've written myself with anyone. Ever. No, I tell a lie, I did with my tutor at college. And that woman is probably outside of my closest friends and family, is probably the most trusted woman that I've ever met in my life in terms of just, telling her stuff. She was sort of a mentor figure for me at college. And she was really pushing me to follow my more academic, literature sided path. Yeah, I showed her my poetry book, and she really liked it. So yeah, this goes without saying, quite a big thing for me. I find it quite difficult to share things that I've written myself or created myself, which might seem strange as a person that spends the entirety of his life streaming for others on Twitch, but it's always been a big sticking point for me. This, with things in the past, I know I'm good at English. I can write good stuff. This isn't particularly good, in my opinion. It's not the best thing I've ever written. It's not gonna wow anyone. But like I was saying before, it's just very me. It's something I wrote that had some heart put into it, because my name's Hart, Tom Hart, and that I wanted to put out there. So yeah, well, that's coming up. Now, I was thinking about this earlier. I was going to segue this somehow into the next topic, which, for those of you who might be watching this who prefer our more whimsical, light-hearted, immature style of content, you might want to stop watching now, because this the next topic is going to be much more mature, much more real. I've spoken a bit about it in previous vlogs. The next topic is going to be mental health, which I'm sure some of you watching it'll be a topic that you want to stick around for, but some of you might not. So just fair warning, if that's not a thing you really care about or want to hear about, you can go now. Much respect to you. You can, if you don't fancy it, that's fine. I don't judge you. It's not everyone's bag or cup of tea, but that is what I'm going to be talking about. So how was I going to segue this? Give me a second to remember the deep mental segue that was going to happen here. Yes, okay. So I was going to talk a bit more about the poem. It's called "The Boy Behind the Bars." Now, not to give anything away for those of you who care about being spoiled on such things, but the poem is quite metaphorical to me, and there are quite a few themes in here that I feel are important and should be talked about, which is the segue into the importance of mental health, and how mental health, in both men and women, is a topic that is very sort of taboo in everything in life. People don't like talking about their mental health. They don't. A lot of people, if they're going through things, they don't like talking about it. They feel like, especially in English culture, in British culture, we have a tendency to just sort of close away our feelings and not tell anyone. And I want to say it's very common in men as well, but as sort of gender differences and boundaries kind of blur together in the modern world, that's not so true anymore. But stereotypically in the past, men have been known for their lack of outward feeling, right? Not so true anymore, but that's beyond the point. So yeah, mental health. It's a very important topic that I feel personally should be spoken about more. Which brings me to the sort of main talking point, i.e. me. Now let me look at my phone one more time, because I'm terrible with segues and talking about things. Yes. So recently, well, not recently. Let's go back to the very beginning. So when I was in my sort of mid to late teens, it eased at about 18, 19 when I enrolled in college. I was I had about a 4 year period of depression. Now, lots of people have depression, or will have depression, or will suffer from feelings like this at some point in their lives. So it's fine. It's not a thing that anyone should really shy away from talking about. I don't think it can be difficult to talk about, just because of the myriad of emotional feelings that are tied to it. But I think it's something that should be talked about. So it started in the year that my father died, which was 2008, and lasted to about 2012 when I enrolled in college. But obviously, with something like depression, it doesn't just start and then stop. For a lot of people, it will start and then it will ease. But a lot of the feelings that you had in that phase will not transfer, but there will be sort of relics of them in your future self. So, say if your brand of depression, you had terrible anxiety. Like, at some point, because I'm a big believer that everyone can and will eventually get over the depression. Get over. Terrible phrase, but it will not be as crushing as it once was. That's what I mean. So say you had terrible anxiety, and then one day you just didn't have terrible anxiety anymore. You were still, and you could go outside and talk to people and stuff. I feel like with everyone, whatever brand of depression you have, there will always be remnants of your biggest problem in depression in the future, even when you get over it. So in the future, this person would still feel anxious in certain situations, and that will always be there throughout their lives. And maybe at some point it will almost disappear entirely, and they won't feel anxious at all. And at some points, something will happen, and they will feel really anxious again. So that brings me to me. Now, my biggest problem when I was depressed was loneliness. I was very isolated, as you might expect a 14-year-old boy who loses his father, stricken by huge feelings of grief and bereavement. Expectedly, it's very normal. I don't look at that period of my life and think, wow, that was strange, because it really wasn't. That's a thing that you'd expect a 14-year-old child to go through when something like that happens. Now, loneliness has always been a thing that's sort of stuck with me. Now, this is once again another thing that fucking everyone experiences at some point in their lives to some degree. Like, everyone is lonely at some point. And once again, I never claimed to be any sort of special person for feeling like that. But like I was saying, it comes and goes in phases, and I like to call these phases seasonal sadness, right? Which is my way of explaining my feelings. Because as I've got older, I've got better at sort of applying logic to the way I feel. Now, I've always been a very logical person rather than an emotional person, but as I've got older, I've learned to sort of meld the two into something that works for me. So I've learned to apply my rationality and logic to my emotions, and I've learned to work out sort of how, why, and when I feel the way I do. Now, seasonal sadness, as I call it, happens probably once or twice a year for me. And it manifests itself in loneliness usually. And usually it can be anywhere from a week to 3 months. Usually from sort of mid-autumn to deep winter and summer, like peak summer. So now it will happen. God knows why it happens at these times. Maybe it's just pure coincidence, but over the past sort of 3-4 years, this is when it's happened. This is when I felt the most lonely, the most, like, I've had the most symptoms of depression. Not that I've ever had it again since when I had it, but you know what I'm saying. So for the longest time since my depressive period, I kind of just let it happen because I didn't know how to deal with it. I didn't have the knowledge or the wisdom or the experience to know how to deal with it. So I sort of just let it happen and let it just like take over me for the period of time that it did so. So for the 1 week to the 3 months, however long it went on. And the point is, this whole rambling thing is that As I've got older, specifically this year, I've said it in a previous vlog. This year has been one of the hardest. It's probably been the hardest year for me since my dad died. So since 2008, which was almost a decade ago now. So it's been quite a significant year of bad stuff for me in terms of physical illness, but also in terms of mental health. Now, because my physical illness is so tied to my mental health, it's the two of it. There's a lot of correlation between the two. For a start, the illness was caused by stress. It was caused by mental health issues when I was much younger. It was not only caused by it, but it also works very much in tandem with it. So the worse I feel physically, the worse I feel mentally, and vice versa. Very strange, but they work very well in tandem. So, what was the point here? Why did I mention this? Okay, we're back. This is the first time ever in the history of Bagel Kings that we've had to, either of us have had to cut a vlog and edit it. Crazy. Anyway, so as I was saying, I've worked out now how to deal with the seasonal sadness. In the past, this is how it links back into what I was saying earlier. In the past, I very much let it just sort of roll over me. I've let it defeat me and get me down, and I've been sort of comfortable with that happening. Not comfortable, but accepting of the circumstances. I haven't been willing or able to try and fight back against it. But this time, now that I'm older, now that I'm wiser, now that I have the experience, like I was saying before, I feel like I'm able to combat it, which is the first time that's ever really happened for me. I never felt able to sort of push back against these feelings, which is strange. And I've worked out how to deal with it vaguely. The first of which, I've learned what usually triggers these periods of sadness, this seasonal sadness. I've learned the circumstance that I have to be in for circumstances I have to be in to let myself be more than usually affected by things. I've learned what that is, and now that I know what that is, I can, it's the first step in dealing with it, right? So now that I've learned the trigger, to use the overly used word, I can hopefully start to combat it. Secondly, I've learned the situation in which the sort of loneliness and period of sadness festers. Now, the way I've always sort of just lived as a human being is that I go through quick bouts of socializing and being with other people, right? So I'll do a day at college, I'll do a day at university, I'll do a day of streaming, right? But after that day is over, I will go home to essentially an empty house and be very lonely. Now, I've learned that it's the transition between the two. So it's the transition between being surrounded by a group of people, friends, peers, people that you talk to, people that you interact with on a friendly basis, and then going back to just nothing. That's what really sort of makes the feelings fester, And it's applicable here because as a streamer, I think a lot of streamers deal with things like this, things of loneliness, especially if they don't have someone they live with. I've got my mum that I live with, obviously, but she works most of the day, is busy the rest of it, and a lot of streamers that don't have someone they live with or someone they're in a relationship with or something like that, I imagine they feel similar feelings, because when you stream, obviously you're at the center of a group of people. These people are people that you get on well with. Often they're your friends, they're your viewers, they're people that come back every day and talk to you. You're basically the center of attention. Now, obviously, there's intermingling and chat and lots of conversations going on there that don't involve the streamers, but the streamer is the glue, the catalyst of attention that brings the whole thing together. And when you press stop streaming, all of that just disappears in a second. And that is, of all the transitions from socializing to being alone, that is the harshest of those transitions, right? Because you have, in the space of a minute, you have all these people that are interacting with you, talking to you, often laughing at things you say, interacting with things you say, treating you like a friend, like a peer, someone that they enjoy watching and enjoy talking to. and then going to just an empty, silent room. That is an incredibly harsh transition to people that are prone to loneliness and sadness. Because, you know, it's the issue with the technological age, really, isn't it? You get the interaction, but it's so quickly just gone. You know, you'll be on a Skype call with someone, they'll say night, and then they're gone. You know, it's an issue that a lot of people face with stuff like this. But for me as a streamer, it's been very difficult, and I think alongside that, the other thing that makes that difficult is that when I press the stop streaming button, it's kind of like I don't really have much else to do, you know. Now that I'm a streamer, I don't play video games by myself that much anymore, and that was my main hobby before I was a streamer, right? I used to just spend my entire days playing video games by myself or with people. But now that I'm a streamer, if I'm not streaming the video game, I kind of feel like it's a waste of time, and I can't. It's rare that I'll have a game that I play off stream by myself. I'll play games with friends off stream, and that's been a great source of once again, you know, not being alone in a room by myself. But when I am alone in a room by myself, I find myself doing nothing, or just, you know, just browsing the internet or whatever, like just doing fuck all, and that's a huge issue for me as well. That's when those feelings fester. So to combat that, I've started to exercise in my free time. In the mornings, usually, I'll do a set of squats, sit-ups, weights, exercise bike, and running. And this will take me anywhere from an hour and a half to 3 hours. I usually wake up quite early, do it before the stream, have my bath, do all the morning ablutions and stuff, and that fills the period of nothingness between when I wake up and the stream. And after the stream, I usually go play games, or, you know, what I'm trying to say is that recently, in the last sort of month or so, I haven't had that much time where I've just been doing nothing. I've been quite busy. Now, when I say busy, a lot of people who work 9-to-5 jobs and have 2 kids to look after are going to laugh at me. But for someone who, you know, has done nothing for the past almost decade of their life, having a full day every day is something entirely new to me. And it's helped a lot with the feelings of loneliness. Now, obviously, there comes a point in the day where the feelings come back. That point is usually around 1 a.m. And that's what it always was for me. Like when I was younger, they always worsened the further into the night it got. And that's just when when a lot of people feel like they're most vulnerable, is at night when they're in bed by themselves, just like thinking about shit, right? That, like, everyone relates to that. So that's now the only point in the day where I really am left alone to my own devices and thoughts, which is where the problems begin. So I think that's really good, and that's kind of that's kind of the purpose of everything that I've been saying in this vlog. I'd like this to be, you know, for now, while we're quite small. I'm sure there are some people who will watch this that will hopefully get something valuable out of this. Just me talking about the feelings, just me, you know, talking about a solution that I found for myself. Maybe it'll work for you. Maybe something in there will help you to work out your own solution. Because I'm sure, like, Twitch is a place that it attracts a lot of people that, you know, have mental health issues, whether that be depression, anxiety, loneliness, whatever, you know. Because it's an environment that doesn't require much, like, social pressure. Requires pressure? It doesn't put on much social pressure, right? You're behind a computer, you're behind a username. You get to interact with people on a non-face-to-face basis. But it's still fulfilling, you know, for people that maybe aren't as well socially adjusted as their peers, their friends. It provides a platform where people can still interact with other people and, you know, get those same feelings of fulfillment that their friends and peers do when they go outside and talk to their friends, you know. And because of that, Twitch attracts a lot of people, like I was saying, with mental health issues now, which means, by extension, that it's quite possible that quite a few people that watch this will relate to a lot of things I've said, and hopefully, like I was saying, you know, use it to work in some sort of solution in their own lives, which is what I hope for. And the reason I did this video, or did this part of the vlog, is for that reason. You know, I want people to watch this and hopefully get something workable into their own lives out of it, you know? Be that for now, and also in the future, if we ever become larger and people watch back previous vlogs or whatever, I want this to be, you know, something that I can look at and say, this might have helped someone, which is nice. And also, you know, it's my vlog. It's a rare opportunity where I just get to talk about myself, which isn't necessarily something I like, but, you know, if you're watching a vlog of one of us, you're watching the vlog presumably because you care about us as people and also the stream. And this has been one of those vlogs where I talk about myself as a person, for cathartic purposes, and also for the potential that I could help someone in any sort of small way. And also that I just want to add my voice to the message that talking about mental health in an honest and open way without embarrassment or shame is an important thing. And hopefully this will help to make people realize that, if they hadn't already, you know? That's it, really. That's all I want to talk about. I wasn't so bad. I didn't expect it would be, really. I think it went well. So if you have any comments, or want to talk about any experiences of your own, or, you know, anything, just, you know, post them down below. Talk to me in the stream, do whatever. If you watch this whole thing and got anything out of it, good shit, that's what I wanted. Thank you for watching. I hope that it did, you know, provide some sort of interesting thought point for you, or maybe you got something out of it, who knows. Whatever. I'm glad you watched. I'm glad you hopefully enjoyed it. So yeah, that'll do it for today. I've got some more stuff to record after this, so I'm going to make a quick exit. Thank you very much for watching. I've been Tom, with a slightly more somber, mature vlog than usual. And probably longer as well. This is cut into 2 parts. It might be at half an hour, this fucking hell. Anyway, peace. I'll see you for the next one. Bye-bye.